basketball coaches first, learning about business, and that's the struggle. And we have club teams, camps, clinics, skills academies, and we do like one-on-one training and small group training, essentially whatever it takes to make ends meet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I realize it's scattered. There's a lot going on, but essentially basketball is what we do. I want to break – we do some performance training stuff. I'm wanting to break more into that, and I'll kind of talk to you about that like in a second once we get all this down, because I want to get your take on it, because this is just kind of where I see myself going. But anyway, where I find myself now is, and I love coaching teams. I'm coaching 3 teams right now, and I'm married. I have my wife, my partner, who is very supportive of what I do, and we're blessed that I saved up money for my previous job. And we're doing really well right now to where I can take this chance, I've got 2 kids, but anyways, I coach 3 teams right now, and that's the bulk of my income, but that's also the bulk of my time. I would love – my daughter's 9, and we just started playing club. Nothing crazy, just a little extra ball outside of season. And I would like to step away from coaching club and do more of what I – like the performance stuff, and then just my coaching fix is with – her, and her team, and that's it.
Okay.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I just broke into the volleyball realm. Volleyball and basketball are similar in the performance side of it, from a lot of starts, a lot of stops, things like that. So I broke into that, and I really enjoy it. I enjoy the, working with an athlete that's passionate about something different than basketball. Though basketball is my passion, it's just a neat little, it's just different. And, there is an avenue there. I think there's a real need on the volleyball side, especially with injury prevention and shoulder injuries with all, it's just like a pitcher throwing and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, that's kind of where I'm at and what we're trying to accomplish. So we've got all those things going, and we've kind of said, like I've said, hey, this is where I want to go. I'm married. It's like, hey, that's fine. If you want to run with Force, we call it Valor Force, is our division for performance training, and I can kind of take over the skill stuff. We've even talked about doing some online type things where we're like a 1-2 punch for young athletes. Like, hey, you want to become a better athlete? This is your 3-day-a-week workout that you can do, and you want to become a better basketball player, coach. Kind of double teaming with that. Just a lot of different things that we both realize we can't do everything, so kind of dividing and conquering in that respect. I just wanted to ask you a couple different questions. One, I'm really much interested, first of all. I'm not kind of just kicking around the tires. It's something I'm very interested in doing. But at the same time, when I first decided to, hey, this is the route I want to go, when I got out of teaching and coaching, and I worked with the Rosti, which is a sports performance group. When I decided I wanted to start my own business, I joined a couple, like one club, which was, or one group was Joe Abenazar, and I got Joe Abenazar certified. Not that I thought that the certification was going to do me anything, and I'm not saying I don't need to learn more about basketball, but I've been to 80 million clinics, still love to go to clinics. I just kind of was hoping it'd be more of a network of helping you figure out how to build a business and get started. And essentially, again, it's helped, but it's like you had a Facebook page and all that stuff. And once you got certified, it was like the Facebook page is essentially dormant. There is no help. Like, he had one webinar, didn't really answer a ton of questions on how to build your business. And I'm not looking for someone to help me. You got to have your own elbow grease. You got to work yourself. But I don't even know, like, I'm 40 years old, not saying I'm old, but I don't want to spend 10 years trying to figure something out, where if I could have a formula and just work really hard for 5 years to get where I want to get to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Just listening to you, kind of everything that you have and like what you want to do, you have the perfect kind of base to build your performance stuff. You have already like teams. They know, like, and trust you. It's just kind of changing your message. And then you said you get to use like a weight room at a school, which most people would have to pay a lease. So you're already ahead of that, where you're not going to pay a ton of money. And then the online thing, it's just kind of developing something and then delivering on a weekly basis, whether it is Facebook, whether it's blogging, like, it's just hard work and consistency. Got you
on that. The consistency part, that's hard for everybody, but that's something that I got to get better at. But let me ask you this, just professional coach to professional coach. I guess, when I got into the skills training thing, I've always done it on the side, and I wish years ago I just never was taught to think outside the box. Like I always, when I was a high school coach, sure, I'll work you out for the summer. I just do it for free. It's just what I love to do. I loved off season way more than I did the season because it was just all about helping kids get better and get better for next year. I just love it. And when I gotten into it, I've just seen that, wow, you throw a rock and you can hit a basketball skills trainer. They're just all over the place. And not saying that there aren't performance people out there, but I think people that, I guess where I'm thinking that where I could be a difference is a basketball coach, someone who is a basketball mind, not just a general fitness mind. I mean, there are some out there, but in my city, in my backyard, I don't know of as many that are like, no, this guy coached, has over 15 years of basketball coaching experience. So I can apply that movement into an understanding into what we're doing performance-wise, and then going on and branching off into other sports. But at the same time, making that shift at 40, again, I'm working on my CSCS. I've done programming because as a high school coach, we didn't have a strength coach, so we had to do it all, And then I've done enjoyed the CrossFit stuff and programming for myself. I have a garage gym where I, do a lot of that Olympic lifting type things. And then also with working 3 years as a rehab specialist really is what tuned me into like seeing kids coming in and like, okay, like if I could help some people in this way, I would love to do that. Do you think it's impractical to want to make this shift at 40?
No, I mean, I'm 37 now. I've been coaching. I was an athlete, we're talking 30 plus years now, but like the last 2 years I've built this online thing from just kind of putting everything I do and I put it online. I was 35. So, well, listen, I'm 37 now. So, I mean, I don't feel old either, but I mean, 37. I don't. I think you have a unique nature with your background. You're saying you're a rehab specialist, strength and conditioning. We need, and actually, like just in general, we need more sports performance coaches that work more on the performance side than on the skill side. I mean, I'm sure you read what I post on Facebook and on the blog.
Sure. Love
that's kind of everything that I've built, like my business on now online is that, look, skill's great. It's wonderful. But if you kind of look at the performance pyramid, it's foundational movements, it's performance, and then it's skill. And 95% of the girls have it backwards. So I absolutely think that you're onto something. You have a niche. I think where you're starting from is better off than probably 50% of the people starting out there. I mean, you have a network, you have the teams, you're a coach. I'm going to take, like, just listening to your background, you're probably very good at what you do. I've seen a lot of the female athletes and basketball stuff out there for performance, and it's horrendous. So I don't think you're crazy at all. I think you're also following your passion, which I can tell you, like, doing online stuff and doing this, it's hard work. So if you don't have a passion for it, you're gonna have a hard time doing it. And it sounds like you do have a passion. And it sounds like you have no issue with hard work. So I'm not really worried about you doing this.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Here's a question I have. Because I feel like the biggest thing with me is ambiguity. It's not that I don't want to work hard. I'm one of those people that I just get stuck with, how do I explain it? There's so much to do. I don't know where to get started. So I just sit still.
Yeah.
Like thinking about what I need to do, as opposed to like, if I just knew like how to get like what steps, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, like I would attack it like crazy. But it's just like knowing what steps are like, is this the right step? Is it not? I second guess everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of what I do for people is I kind of like say, all right, that's why I say, let's look at 12 weeks first before we're looking at like a year. The next 12 weeks, let's pick 1 to 3 things.
Sure.
Not 10. Like in the next 90 days, like I have my big 3 and one of them probably won't even be accomplished until like the end of this year, but like the 2 will be, and then I move on. You kind of got to like pick 3 things that you want to focus on in the next 12 weeks. That's what I would tell you to do. And one of them, if it's all right, let's say if it's to build up your sports performance business, kind of get your name out here. All right, here's what you need to do. And then if it's to get certified with the CSCS, all right, what do you need to do? Do you need to take, a Monday and take an hour and say, it's kind of just like breaking down what you need to do. Most people, again, this, there's not a lack of information out there. There's a lack of kind of just doing it. And so my job is to kind of structure you, tell you what to do. I mean, obviously I can help you get your name out there, tell you what to do, market, stuff like that. But it's more kind of, you got to pick 3 things. If you're going to pick 10, Like that's not going to, I don't want to do that either. 3 things, and then we kind of go from there.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense. And then background, like in Texas, I'm not sure how it is up in, is it
Massachusetts?
Okay. Massachusetts. Here, one thing with the performance side of it, like my biggest competitor probably are public schools. Like here in Texas, public schools are definitely king. In San Antonio, they're definitely king. We have an athletic period.
Yep.
They don't have performance coaches, but they have an athletic period. So and there is, I don't know if you ever heard of Redline. It's a franchise that does like performance training and skills training, and they have like a box.
Okay.
That's essentially what I wanted to do, not have the franchise, but like they have like turf inside, and they have like, I'd say timeline and down of a basketball court.
Okay.
Volleyball and basketball small group training, and then you can only lift in there and all those kind of things, right? That's my ultimate goal, is to have that kind of somewhat of a place like that for me and athletes that I'm blessed to work with.
Okay.
Now, like they just opened up in San Antonio. Their grand opening was this week. They have Velocity Sports didn't work here, like the speed and agility thing.
Yeah, I know Velocity. There was a couple in Mass. Yep.
But they didn't work, and I think it's because kids are so busy. One, like club sport, like, educating kids like, okay, put down the bat, put down the ball, get faster, get stronger, get core stability so you can actually perform and stay healthy is one, like, got to re-educate them. But also it's that athletic period for those high school kids that are really wanting that are like chasing the scholarship or chasing their athletic potential, that like I found that with like our, with my volleyball athletes, I had to have like, it was like, here's your prehab, because it's like, coach, I box jumped like crazy today. Well, here's your prehab workout. We're not, you had enough foot touches today. Or coach, I did like 3 sets of 3 with this, so I can't do what you're doing today. You know what I mean? That's like a challenge, I guess, with what I'm doing. So that's the one thing I'm kind of, I want to say, apprehensive about, but concerned about. And then just also, what is the niche? I'm trying to figure out what's the niche. Is it like speed camps? Is it mobile camps to start? Like, how do we get started? Because like I said, I do have the workout facility, but they have their own summer camps. Now I work there in part because they do give me that great discount and stuff. And just like, he's kind of like, whatever, you want to use the weight room, fine. Like, you can use it for free. I could care less. Nobody's in there except for like an hour or 2 a day. And which is great, but at the same time, it's the peak hours, right? In the summer, like when I have it, it's 11:30 on. Well, parents are like, oh, can I get there at 8? No, I can't, So summer might be out, but like in the fall, after school, no one's in there. That's going to be a great time. But even just like I said, figuring out how to I don't even know, like I'm going to have to totally believe, not say believe, but trust in you and because I don't even know how to get started with basketball. It's like, hey, you have a basketball, you have a gym. I'm getting 2 kids. Here's our small. I just know that a little bit better because I've built that somewhat.
So I mean, I would pick a niche, and I wouldn't even go I'd pick a niche, whether it's like basketball players. I mean, I would go more for kind of depth, where it is like girl basketball players, than for width right now, which would be your female athletes. But I would stick to females. Don't try to train everyone. Be really good at one thing.
Okay.
The go-to guy for, and if you said basketball and volleyball on this call, okay, so be the go-to guy for basketball and volleyball.
Got it.
And just and do that. Don't worry about anything else. I would also, like, again, if your goal is to do, you said more sports performance training, I would focus, when you're doing the sports performance training, you can run maybe like a workshop or a clinic for like speed or maybe like an ACL prevention, but do that only as like kind of a workshop to get your name out there, to get an email list. Stick to the performance training, like the training that you're going to do on a yearly basis for these kids. Educate the kids, educate the parents. And that's where it comes in, where I would tell you to pick a social media platform, pick a blog, or do something where you're constantly doing that at least once or twice a week so we can educate these kids.
Got it. Makes sense. I feel like one thing I think obviously with volleyball here that I found, and just because we see being a rehab specialist, just the simple things with taking care of like balances with all the muscles within your shoulder and things like that. Like, I think one thing that would work for us is like, hey, can I shoulder health clinic? Because most of these girls, it's like, what do you do to warm up your shoulder? Like, you show them a lacrosse ball and they're like, mind blown, like simple things like that. Or external rotation, because you're always hitting this way. Are you externally rotating at all? Have no idea what that is. Just simple things like band work, wall slides. I think those are some things that were like a little 15 minutes before your practice coach, can I get your athlete's time? That I think could go over really well and would go over well with parents with multiple clubs.
Yeah, I would offer let's say if we look at volleyball kind of preseason will be starting shortly. And then we got basketball, kind of postseason. I would offer some sort of free one-day workshop, one-day clinic. Do what you're doing. Put a little thing together. Put your contact information on it. Get everyone's email that's at that thing. And I would highly recommend you get some sort of like newsletter or email system so you can just email out content with what you're doing. Hey, if you enjoyed this workshop, come the fall, Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 to 4:30, I'll be doing whatever. But that's what I would do, is offer something for free first, collect all the emails, get your athlete database, your parent database, and then build off that. If the first clinic you run, you're not going to be like, oh my God, there's 50 kids. If there's great, that's, amazing. But it's just kind of building, getting your name out there. Because I'm going to guess that this red line, I'll look it up later. I'm guessing they're not aiming number one at specific for female athletes. They're probably training just athletes in general. Mm-hmm. Females need to be trained a little different than males. There needs to be a focus more on the posterior chain, how to teach them how to decelerate land. I think if you were the go-to guy for like just girls basketball, girls volleyball to start, I think you're already ahead of the competition because you niched it down. We need to have you delivering content, whether again, blog, Facebook, where you're just constantly delivering stuff. I think that's how you're going to get your name out there. That's how you're going to get the word out there.
Here's a question, because I've been a boys coach on the boys side, which I have a daughter who's starting to love the game. So I love female athletes. My question is, do you think as a male, am I at a disadvantage by going after the niche of female athletes?
No, I don't think so, because if you actually look, how many female coaches do you actually see coaching females now?
It's bad. It's not. It's.
I think more females should be coaching females. I am one of the people that think that, but I'm also one of the people that, if you're a caring coach and you're in it for the right reasons, then I want you coaching like my daughter. And it sounds like you're not trying to do this to make, obviously you want to make money, but you're not in it thinking you're going to cash in by training females.
Right.
I think you're in it for the right reasons. You're following your passions. No. And I think this. People need to get to know you. They need to know, like, and trust you before they are going to, but again, I think you already have a reputation. Like you said, you've coached 3 teams. You've been doing this work with your partner, Meredith. I think all that matters. You need to use that network, those connections.
Got it. So the only girls team I coach is my daughter's. I have 2 3rd and 4th grade teams I coach. So technically I coach 4 teams.
Okay.
So, and then obviously I coach at like the girls middle school team at Saks, but they have strength and conditioning coach there. So out of respect and a conflict of interest, they have no idea what I do. I don't bring it up. I just don't think that's right. I do have contact with other girls, and I do know other girls programs here in San Antonio, and obviously girls coaches and things of that nature. But I'm essentially starting from scratch if I'm going to go the girl side. I think there would be, but I do think it's a little bit more of a, I hate to say it this way, but at least in my region, I don't know how it is in Massachusetts, but basketball, and I don't mean this in a negative sense because I'm a basketball junkie. Yep. It's a bit of a poor man's sport. And what I mean by that is, at least on the boys' side, volleyball, they know they're going to pay some money. And again, I'm not talking about, like, you had it right. I'm not trying to get rich. I just want to pay my bills, live comfortably, save up for my kids' college, things like that, But on the volleyball side, they understand it. On the softball side, my kid's a great softball player. Got to pay for lessons. On any other sport, golf, basketball, on the boys' side at least, it's like, my kid can play. What are you going to do for me for free? To say my kid works with you. Do I get a discount because my kid, you know what I'm saying? Or even and that's just the better ones, but even like the not on the boys' side. Now on the girls' side, it seems a little different, the clientele. But that's just the things that I'm thinking of. I'm just kind of saying things out loud of how I'm going to get started in getting the kids work with me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you know this. I mean, you have 2 daughters. As a parent, you'd pay any money for your kids for the most part.
Yes.
You'll spend it on your kids you'll spend it on yourself. Again, you need to start educating like your network.
Okay.
You need to educate them by putting out a newsletter. Again, dominate. If it's your Facebook page, I don't even know if you guys have a Facebook page, and this post quality content on it, and educate the parents, but also the athletes. Educate them on why they need. Again, that's why I'm saying offer a free clinic. If you wanted to offer like a 4-week speed camp, I mean, tear it up. I think that ACL workshops, a 1-day ACL workshop, a 1-day, like you could put it as a speed camp because obviously ACL over speed, some people, and then go into, we talk about speed, but the girl's only going to get stronger if she's lifting weights, learning how to stop, change direction, stuff like that. I think you're thinking like 3 months ahead when you need to start like right now, which is start putting out content, start building your email list so you can start providing quality content to your email list, educate them, run some clinics. And that, again, I think what you're worrying about like is more 3-6 months down the road.
I totally get it. And that's my problem is, Jen, you'll know this from working with me, is pick 3 things that are important. Everything's important to me.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, how do I pick those 3 things? Like even like simple, like I have a planner. I'm trying to do better at that, of like pick what are your 3 top targets. Jen, that's like a 30-minute like, 3, only 3, huh? It's embarrassing, but that's kind of where I'm at. That's why I really need the coaching and the help to like, what are the 3 things that I got to do that are in my face? Because I can think of like, I can get scattered and be thinking of all these things that are so important. And I'm so focused on thinking of all of them that I get maybe one of them accomplished. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, trust me, you are like 95% of the people. I mean, like I have a business coach too. I mean, I'm not perfect either, but I'm in a really good spot right now with what I do. I mean, and I've done it from basically when I started from basically the ground up and what I've created, because I own my own gym, but that gym is basically focusing on adults with kettlebells and yes, some sports performance. Then I became the head strength and conditioning coach at a local private school. So then I started working more with athletes. But when I started 2 years ago, again, like I've been doing this for a while, was a Division I athlete. It was just more reaching back out to my contacts, constantly emailing my list, building my list, giving away stuff that literally it's almost 2 years now that things are like exploding. So it does take time, but again, like you need to focus in on like if you're like again, pick a social media site, email at least once a week, build your email list, and then let's start planning free workshops, clinics, and then go from there. Because that sounds like 3 things sounds probably little. It's not. It's going to take a little bit to build those out.
Got it. Now, with I'm trying to think of what I was going to ask you the question. So, like little things, like and not that we need to go on this right now during this conversation because there's just more general questions I have. But like when you say put out content, I'm like, like what kind of content? Like what specific? There's so many like articles, discussions. Like I even need help with that. Like because we've had that. Like I've had a YouTube channel where I did basketball skill stuff.
Yep.
I get so built up with what I've got to do in the future that I'm like, you didn't even put out what you did this week because you're so worried about, it's that's just going to be a process for me if that makes sense.
No, I mean, look, in the couple minutes and 20 minutes we've been talking, you mentioned something about volleyball players with shoulder health. I'm sure if you wrote down that, you could probably come up with at least 6 blogs. I'm a big component of video, 1 to 2 minute of videos saying, hey, I train a lot of girls. They lack external rotation in their shoulder. Here's 2 drills that you can do before you start playing to help with your external rotation. Something as simple as that, 1-2 minutes. I mean, if you've seen my videos, they're 1 to 2 minutes. And I mean, I could go into 50 things, but I kind of break down one thing, explain it, and then on to the next thing.
Okay.
I'm sure if you broke down, like just write shoulder health and write, like what you want to talk about and kind of like, shoulder health and then dot, you'd come up with probably 10 to 12 things. And like for the month of, let's just say the month of July, you're going to focus on the shoulder. For the month of August, you're going to focus on kind of like how to teach these girls to land, decelerate, which is perfect for both volleyball and basketball. And then you break it down. Again, like it's all about breaking stuff down so with me, like my month for June right now is working kind of like right now. I don't know if you saw the thing this morning was like 5th and 6th graders.
Yes. I want to talk more about that. Yeah.
So what they should be doing. So today I gave 2 moves. Wednesday, I'm going to give like 2 more band stuff. And then Thursday something else about recruiting because I promised someone I'd do something for them. But again, I could have done a 10-minute video on what 5th and 6th graders do, 1 to 2 minutes. And again, you just share your knowledge. If you actually sat down after we got this call for 10 minutes and wrote what I think is important females know, you just, just make a list. You'd come up with probably 50 things. Make a video on everything you wrote.
Got it.
But that's kind of going into, if your goal in the next 12 weeks, number one, is kind of to build your online presence or list, then one of those things under that is content. How are we getting the content out? So like, I would say to you, like after this call, think about 3 goals. Mm-hmm. And then we can chat again and break down those 3 goals.
Okay.
Probably on one call, we break down 1 goal because I think the biggest thing for you would be to start building your email list. Like with anything you do, if you don't have an email list, it doesn't matter. Because if you're trying to promote, a camp or your services in the fall with strength and conditioning after school, you need to be able to tell someone. Mm-hmm. And the best way to do that is your email list.
Okay. And then I think your daughter's at the door. Okay. Sorry about that. Someone's at my house. We got content, all over the place with my thinking here. So how does it work? Here's another question.
Yep.
So most of my experience, like again, I've just broken, like I've worked with some female athletes that actually know what I do, mainly on the volleyball side, but again, basketball's my passion.
Yep.
To build that email list, because I'm kind of like you. If I'm going to work with female athletes, just making sure you understand where I'm coming from. Yep. I'm starting from nothing. Like I feel like I am. You know what I mean? Which I want to be completely honest, because I feel like if you can't grow if you're not. I'd rather over talk about how I'm starting at the bottom than have you think like I have this base and I don't. You know what I mean? So that we're really accurate with where we're coming from.
I feel like you might not have like an email list, but you have a network.
Yes. Okay.
So you're not starting from like you. It's not like let's say I was like a truck driver, and then one day I was like, oh, I want to work with female athletes. You know what I mean? Okay. Like so you have a network. So what I would tell you, like the first thing I would tell you to do is number one, you got to pick 3 goals and just write 3 goals, and then we can break them down further. The second thing I'd tell you is like write down or put in one spot, whether it's on a computer, whether it's on a piece of paper. Is like look at your network, look in your phone, look at your contacts. Who would be people you'd want to tell about your new venture? Let's just say like stuff like that. Put all your networks down, all your network contacts, and then we go from there.
Okay, and then should I have my own? Because we do have like a Facebook page and a Instagram page for Valor Force and stuff like that. But we have Valor Force, which is our performance, Valor Skills, which is our skill development stuff, like a Facebook page, and we have Valor Warriors, which is our club team stuff.
Okay, I'm trying to find Valor Force right now. That's what I'm looking at if I'm looking down.
It's essentially dormant because
what's the thing on Instagram?
Let me get my phone. 1 second. It was plugged in and charging. All right. Looking it up here for you. Okay. Let me see here. One thing we could do is my partner, she's doing a girls only shooting camp this week. It's called Ball Her, and I'm sure she's going to have a lot of girls that we could use. I don't know if it's at another gym. They hired her to do it, but she'll have another one in August, which could be huge with younger girls in regards to somehow developing a niche for maybe younger girls learning how to become more athletic or something like that. All right, so it's Valor Force, VALOUR,
Dallour Force.
Yes, ma'am.
Is all one word?
Yes.
All right. There we go. Yeah, I mean, so again, I can just look. I looked at the first video, and the last video was January 14th. So if I went on Facebook, is the Facebook page like not? You guys haven't been doing anything on that either?
It totally, yes. No excuses, but like I felt like we have 3 different platforms, which I thought when Meredith and I were talking about, I was like, that's a lot. Like I have trouble with just one.
Yeah.
We're so busy with teams, like launching our club. It's like that's pretty active. We once a week celebrating somebody's birthday or showing us doing drills or showing us at a tournament. You know what I mean? That's
okay.
Where we're active.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram. So if you're going to post to Instagram, just link it to your Facebook page so it updates both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's easy enough to do. I mean, again, where are the athletes you want to get? Most likely they're on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, like the parents are on Facebook. So you need to be on social media. There's no way about it. And that's kind of one of the things. But like you said, Meredith is doing these shooting camps, which is great. Like she can do the skill stuff. You can do strength stuff. Because I think both need to be done. Have her collect everyone's email at this camp this week.
Okay.
Put them into it. Put them in an email system, a newsletter system. If you don't have one, we can talk about where to look, where to set up. And then again, I wouldn't just be like, oh, hey guys, I'm running I'm running something. I wouldn't ask for what I say a withdrawal. I would deposit. Send them like, hey, we really enjoyed you at the shooting. If you want to improve your shooting, here are 3 strength exercises you could do to get stronger. Like something like that. Again, it's not that hard. It's just people, number one, don't know how to do it, or but that's how you start building.
Got it. Good.
And again, I just looked at the thing. On the website. It says you were born and raised in San Antonio. You know more people. Like you were born and raised there. People know you. They trust you. They know if you're a schmo. You know what I mean? Like
yes.
I was born and raised in Nashua, New Hampshire. If I went back there and did a basketball thing, I'd be totally fine because again, I have a good name. I mean, I'm right outside Boston now, but people know you. They know if you're a good guy. You're fine. You know what I mean? It's just, again, we just need, you're all over the place, which most people are, and that's okay. We just need to rein you in.
Got it.
That's why I'm saying, like, pick 3 things. Mm-hmm. And if you're worried about 50 other things, you can write that down, but we got to pick 3 things. And half those things and the other 50 things would probably be checked off once we rein in the 3 because it would be under there.
Okay. Now, when it comes to just learning, I've spent most of the stuff I know, I go to basketball clinics, and because I enjoy performance, I'll go listen to Alan Stein, or I'll go listen to so-and-so, the strength coach. Yep. But like, that's one talk, per clinic, right? I need more in my bag in regards to just when it comes to producing weekly content. And maybe again, I'm worried so much about the big picture. I'm thinking, how am I going to come up with a year's worth of where are some good sources online to continue to learn and get better when it comes to performance?
So, I mean, there's a million. I mean, I really read a business blog. I follow Resistance Band Training, which is Dave Smith's. He does some nice stuff. But again, I blog 3 days a week. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of content. Again, have a theme and then go from there. I'm telling you, build the email list first. Then I email out once a week. So that's really, you have to come up with 52 things. If you really sat down, you could easily come up with 52 things without even thinking. I'm sure you could, if I told you to pick why girls should be strength training, you could probably come up with 15 things right now. You know what I mean? So again, that's was not what I would focus on. Right now, what I would do is pick 3 things that you want to accomplish in the next 12 weeks.
Got it.
And then put your networks or your contacts kind of in one place. That's all I would tell you to do right now.
Okay. Realistically, another question I have is like I'm working towards my CSCS.
Yep.
That's really important to me in regards to just feeling like, hey, I'm not just some guy that thought like, oh, I'm gonna just do performance training. Is it okay for me to work towards this and putting my name out there before having that underneath my name?
Yeah, I'm not worried about that because I'll tell you this, like I own a gym. I have coaches that work for me. I will hire a coach for energy, passion before I'll ever hire them before a certification.
Got it.
Because I mean, look, I could teach them everything I want them to know and what they need to know. You know more than being like in the rehab setting and all that. I mean, I'm sure you know more about the shoulder than I do. And I'm sure if someone had like a lacrosse player, I probably wouldn't want to train a lacrosse player because I've never played lacrosse. Like I could put a strength program together, you know what I mean? But I want like basketball. Like basketball is what I know, and I will put my knowledge up to it against everything because I played there and I've been there. So I mean, again, that's why I niche it down, which I think you're volleyball, basketball. Once you get that, I'd go for with female athletes. But again, I think like confidence, I think you know more than you give yourself credit for.
Gotcha. Do you think it's wrong to go for like basketball, male or female athletes? Or do you think I really need to niche it down and like it needs to be female?
I think you need to niche it down to females.
Okay.
I mean, yes, you need to niche it. And I think like you said, volleyball in the beginning, I think you should niche it down to volleyball and basketball and start with that. And
then just and actually niche it down to a sex as well.
I would, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, because if you, again, everyone's a generalist. You know what I mean? Like, I want to pay for a specialist.
Oh, okay. I got you. Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, again, like I said to you, if you were a lacrosse player, I'd probably try to find someone to train you before I'd say I'd train you. You know what I mean? I could probably give you simple strength and conditioning, but I wouldn't be your person. Like, if a baseball player came to me, no. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do is niche it down, volleyball, basketball. That's where it sounds like, especially with Meredith, she's doing the shooting stuff. That's where you have your in, and let's use it.
Okay.
I don't even know how many girls are going to be there that week, but have Meredith, I don't know if you're going to be with her, have Meredith collect every email of the parents. I mean, if the kids are going to be like 8, 9 years old, don't collect their, you know what I mean? Like, focus on the parents. And I would offer, if they're shooting, offer something where, like, if they give you their email, you're going to give them 5 exercises they could do, strength exercises where they can improve their shooting.
Okay.
And you could easily do 5 1-minute videos where you do a plank, a push-up, a squat, a lunge, and single leg. How simple, you know what I mean? Simple. Nothing crazy, but you know this. You put a girl in single leg balance, she's probably going to tip over.
Right.
So that's what I would do is to start collecting your emails. And again, 3 big goals is what you need to work on.
Okay.
I think one of them obviously is focusing on Facebook, Instagram, kind of build your email list, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I get the 3 goals.
Yep.
So that's kind of my homework. What is the next step in regards to the business, like you know, let's say, hey, you've got me sold here, or not really got me sold. I trust you. That's mainly what I needed to feel. Just what's next? Like, what do we need to do next?
I want you to write down your 3 goals, and I want to check in with you probably next Monday. Let's go over your 3 goals, and then let's break down one of them.
Okay.
Like one of them, let's say, is build your social media. How are you going to do that? You're going to be like, I have no freaking idea. So then we're going to break down how to do that. I want you to, if you get your 3 goals by Wednesday or Thursday, like I want you to send them to me so then I can have time to kind of break them down.
Makes sense. And then let's say, because I feel like me getting to the success I want to get to, 3 months is not even going to scratch the surface. Can you coach me beyond that? Or is it just...
Absolutely, I could. What I want you to do, though, is, like, again, focus on 3 things and let's conquer them. If your goal is to then start, again, break down goals that you can accomplish in 3 months. If you want to put a year goal in there too. But again, I feel like if you're looking out at a year, it's hard to, like, I could tell you my year goals right now. I guarantee you in 3 months they change a little bit. Focus on the 3 months to 12 weeks because that's when, that's how kind of I work, is that I break down everything into 12 weeks.
Got it. Makes sense.
And also, like, we've chatted. We seem like we have a rapport. Like, sometimes you meet someone and 12 weeks after, it might not be a good fit. So that's why, like, I like to go 12 weeks. Let's accomplish what we need to accomplish, and then we go from there.
Okay. I got it. Makes sense.
Yeah, write down your goals. As soon as you have them, like, be specific as possible. Send them to me because I can look it over. I'm going to send you an email this afternoon. I want you to give me, like, your website again, social media stuff, so then I can look at everything.
Okay. Makes sense.
And then what I'll do is like, I probably will meet on like, usually when I do like a Zoom call, like every other week. I give homework for the week. We give check-ins kind of just to make sure you're on task with what you need to do.
Okay. Here's one more question that I really wanted to ask. I don't want to know necessarily, I don't need to know the names of clients, but just can you give me an idea of maybe some clients that you've helped and how you've helped, like where they are now from where you were working with them? I don't want to say brag on yourself a little bit, but I'm just curious, just trying to conceptualize where you're
I do a lot of local stuff right now with, honestly, people. I do local stuff for sport in the Boston where I've worked with a yoga instructor who wanted to build up her own personal practice. And again, basically it's kind of telling what I'm saying to you right now. There's nothing fancy out there. And I've worked with businesses that have nothing to do with fitness. Okay. I mean, again, a lot of it is in this day and age is you need anything you do online or anything you want to be a successful business, you need an email list. Okay. It's content. Because I mean, if you looked at your inbox right now, think about it. Like, when do you get emailed from someone in the sports performance world? When they want to sell you something. There's very few people that email on a regular basis with content. So when they ask for something in return, you're more likely to open their email and read it. But I mean, I can think of some big names in the sports performance world that I literally only get emailed by them when they're trying to sell a product. Got it. You think about your inbox, like how many times you get emailed by someone and then they disappear and then 3 months later they email you because they're selling a product. I got you. So it's kind of like, because I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, so it's kind of like the jab, hook kind of mentality in regards to you're just giving. Yeah. And it is. I mean, I've worked with Pat Rigsby. Like, I haven't coached Pat Rigsby, but I do a lot of work with Pat Rigsby. I just wrote a chapter for him on how to build your online business in 30 days. I'm sure you've seen all the summits I do. So I've worked with most of those people in the summit in some capacity, networking on all that. Got it. Where I feel like, and I feel like one of the reasons I'm really interested also is, again, my mind is shifting from focusing on how can I get this kid, and I'm not just in general, how can I get these kids to better understand how to drive their shoulder to hip, or how can I get these kids to better understand how to stay balanced with contact, to performance training. So again, like that's why I asked about good places to look in regards to learning. I still feel like do I have things to offer? Have I worked with athletes and helped athletes? Sure. But I want to be an expert. Yeah. Send me an email, like after we get off the call, because I got to run out and do something. Let me, Dave Smits, I'll send you his stuff. He does a good thing. But then Molly Bonetti, she actually just got hired as the strength and conditioning coach for the women's South Carolina, University of South Carolina women's basketball team. Mm-hmm. Just got hired. That's her. She did an interview. I don't know if you've seen the summits I've done. I've seen some of them. I did not. I wanted to pay the 40. I haven't gotten to that yet, but yes. So Molly, before she got hired by Don Staley in the University of South Carolina, worked with volleyball on for the University of Louisville. Let me send you that interview where she talks about training for volleyball players. So just send me an email and say, remind me to send me that. And again, I'll give you Dave's name. You can look him up. And he's always involved in the summits because he's huge with female athletes, but also basketball players. And I'll give you a few of the names that you can look. Again, I don't think, and this is with anyone, I don't think the issue is information about sports performance training. We know kind of what we need to know. Can we always get better? Yes, me too. I'm going to a workshop in 2 weeks. But it's more like how to be accountable and how to get stuff done. Yeah, absolutely. I got you. But that was just more in general. I get it. It's not one of my 3 goals, but again, before I was always, and I still do just because I love it. I'm looking at DVDs or I'm looking at stuff online, looking at work. I guess it's like I want to transition that to I'm looking or reading or studying for the performance side of it. And I guess if you can think of where I need to go, clinics I need to try to go to every year to begin to transform. That's what I was thinking about. If that makes sense. No, shoot. Yeah. Send me send me an email with that. But again, I can give you a couple resources you can check out. But I literally only probably pay attention to like 5 people now. Cause you know this, there's too many freaking things going on in the world. So I try to focus in on like 5 people. Yeah, absolutely. That totally makes sense. And I do I do at least 2 to 3 interviews a month. I'm in July, you're going to see it soon. And being with the coaching, you'll kind of get an inside look on what I'm doing, but I'm coming out in July with what's called the Female Athlete Inner Circle, where I'm taking every interview I've done for the Women's Basketball Summit and the Female Athlete Summit and putting it into a membership site. And I'm going to be updating it monthly with interviews, resources, workouts, but it's specifically towards the female athlete. And that's, again, you'll get an inside look working with me, but also people that usually work with me, I always try to interview you guys and feature you on that so then people can get to see what you're doing also.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, I appreciate everything. I'll pay, like, how does this work with payment?
So I'll send you an order form for the first month, $129, pay it, and then 30 days later you'll get another thing. Okay.
And
what else? Yeah, so 3 goals I want you to work on. Like, write those down. Send them to me when you do. If you don't send it for a few days, it's fine. Let me look at it. Then I want you to kind of work on, like, your network, your contacts. Who could you reach out to say, hey, I've been working with basketball teams. I'm starting to transition into the sports performance world, and then kind of lead them into what you're doing. That's what I want you to do. And then we'll set up the link for an interview for next Monday or Tuesday to kind of chat again and reassess.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much.
If you need me before then, shoot me an email. I'm pretty quick on the draw.
Yeah, no problem, Coach. I appreciate you.
And I also recorded this, so once I upload and download later, I'm going to send it to you, so then you can review what we talked about. If I know there was a lot of information, so you can review it.
Okay, appreciate you, Coach.
All right, but I'll shoot you an email later with some stuff, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, talk to you later.
Talk to you later.